It is a little bit muggy here, just below 70 degrees. Slight breeze out of the north. Mostly cloudy right now. We had a pregame shower. There's a look at fourth-year head coach Rex Ryan. Like we mentioned before, took some time to make a decision on the quarterback and chose quarterback Mark Sanchez. There's Mike Mularkey, the former Atlanta Falcon offensive coordinator for a short time, the coach of the Buffalo Bills in his first season with the 2-10 Jaguars right now. We've had the flip of the coin. The Jaguars won. They did defer. And so they will kick off, and Josh Scobie will take care of that. He's got a big leg, and he'll have it teed up at the 35-yard line. But the story now for the Jets becomes the kickoff return man. This is Joe McKnight, who last night was waylaid with migraines. They didn't know if he would play today.
Well, and they need all hands on deck today, Kevin. Do the New York Jets. We said the special team need to make plays. McKnight has to protect the football and look to make a big play in the return game.
Jaguars lost in some bad weather in Buffalo last week. We know about the come-from-behind win for the New York Jets. And that is through the end zone, a touchback, and to the 20-yard line. And get our first look now at the New York offense led by their quarterback, Mark Sanchez, benched for the first time in his 4-year career last week. After 3 first-half interceptions against Arizona and Solomon, he gets the start today.
And he was very candid when he spoke with us last night. He said as soon as last week's game was over, he was looking forward to getting a second chance to be able to start in today's game. He wants to manage the game and not turn it over, allow the defense to work on their behalf.
Cromartie is at the bottom of your screen. There are 2 tight ends. It is 1st and 10. Sean Green will take it in. Met by all kinds of traffic like Russell Allen, the linebacker. It's a gain of 2 to the 22-yard line. 3 Pro Bowlers on that offensive line. The run blocking against the league's second worst run defense at Jacksonville. Key today, anchoring that line, is the center, Nick Mangold. Dustin Keller is out with an ankle, so Jeff Cumberland will step in that category. So we've already seen one wrinkle, and that was Cromartie in there. It is 2nd down and 8. Opening drive for the New York Jets. Green again, and into a pile, and they had Mincy 94 among a couple in there. That's a gain of 3. The Jacksonville defense is number 31, Jason Babin, off the waiver wire last week of Philadelphia, becoming a starter immediately. Paul Posluszny is their linebacker, leading the Jaguars in tackles and having the best season of his career. And the former New York Giant, Aaron Ross, who has taken the place of Mathis, is out with a calf injury, so rookie Mike Harris will replace him. It's 3rd down and 5. Outside. Down the play by Gilliard. It's close to a 1st down. Coverage across the way. Mathis, it's a gain of 4 on the play and close to the 30-yard line. Let's see the spot. Shy by a half yard.
Well, Mark Sanchez knew they would be blitzing from the right side. He goes hot, gets rid of the ball quick, and that's where Gilliard has to do a really good job of breaking a tackle, extending for a 1st down. This is Dwight Lowry matched up against Gilliard out there and need to make that tackle to prevent the 1st down. And Rex Ryan said, let's go ahead and punt it.
And that's what they'll do. Gilliard, by the way, making his first Jet reception, spent most of this season with Philadelphia. To punt, Robert Malone. And deep back will be Quan Cosby for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fair caught at about the 32-yard line on the play. That's a 38-yard punt, and that takes us now to the Jacksonville offense. They're number 31, like their defense. Their quarterback by Chad Henne, making his 3rd start for the Jags, replacing the injured Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah, Chad Henne, I think, has improved the quarterback position for Jacksonville because he's quick, he's decisive, he's been highly accurate throwing the football. He said he wanted today to get the ball early in the hands of Justin Blackman. He needs early touches in order to be successful.
First down and 10 from the 33-yard line for the Jaguars. And Montel Owens will take it through. Out down in the play by David Harris. Jeremiah Bell getting a hand on him as well. It's a gain of about 7, and they will put him out near the 41. On the offensive line, Evan Britton starts for Mike Brewster at left guard. Brewster with a broken hand. In the backfield, the Jaguars' 2 top running backs are out. Reese Jones-Drew and Rashad Jennings. So Montel Owens will start. Also out, their lead receiver, Cecil Shorts, their best offensive playmaker, and Kevin Elliott, a rookie, will take his place today. 2nd down and 2 on Jacksonville's first possession. Owens, he got by Wilkerson, and stood up on the play by Brian Thomas, a gain of 2, and very close to a first down on that run. The defense, Rex Ryan called it a miraculous performance last week. 0 of 15, they held the second worst offense in Arizona without a first down on a 3rd down conversion. Wilkerson was playing terrific on that line with the sack. Bart Scott also solid his run defense. First multiple sack game in the past 5 years. And Antonio Cromartie faced veteran Larry Fitzgerald last week, and he'll be on rookie Justin Blackmon today. In fact, he'll follow him from side to side. He'll get the first down on that run. The running back in there right now is Richard Murphy. He's out of LSU. There's a block by Mercedes Lewis and a tackle on the play. David Harris, it's a gain of 3 to the 47.
Well, the New York Jets come in very confident against Mike Mularkey's offense. Remember, this offense for Jacksonville went 1 of 10 against Buffalo in Week 13 last week, and Rex Ryan was very proud of his defense. The fact that they did pitch a shutout, going 0 for 15 to the Arizona Cardinals against Rex Ryan's defense. He feels his defense has a huge advantage to that.
Owens back in. It is 2nd down and 7. And a rush right there, and this is caught by Guy Wimper. He was a tight end eligible. It's a gain of 10. The former Giant offensive lineman moves down to the 43.
Well, Wimper didn't look too bad out there, did he? Watch him check and release, and out in the flat, he's wide open. Can he make someone miss, pick up a first down? Enough. He stumbles forward, eluding the would-be tackler, Jeremiah Bell.
Wimper at East Carolina was a college football tight end. That's his 2nd catch this season, his first for a 1-yard touchdown. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 43. Ray Jones, the fullback, is in there at a block on Scott, and Montel Owens will slither his way down to about the 38 and pick up 4 on the play, make it the 39-yard line on Jacksonville's first possession.
Mike Mularkey playing with a short deck. He's without his star running back in Maurice Jones-Drew. He was out Rashard Jennings, and so they go with Owens, and Owens looking pretty good so far in the ball game. 3 carries, 15 yards, averaging 5 yards a pop. It's not too bad for Mike Mularkey's group. They need balance in order to be effective.
Chad Henne on 2nd down and 6. Oh, good time. Good block by Meester to center, and that's caught by tight end Zach Potter. That's just his 2nd reception of the season. It's good for a gain of 2. It's the 37. You're talking about the running back. Owens, he is a special teams demon. He was a 2-time Pro Bowler on special teams for the Jaguars.
Well, and we talk about confidence coming into today's game. That's where Jacksonville feel like they can make some plays on special teams. As you take a look at Montel Owens, the Jets' special teams have given up plays this year. Uncharacteristically, they've allowed big plays.
Heinster is the extra defensive back, 3rd down and 4. Henne, Blackmon covered on the play by Kyle Wilson. He'll be close to a first down, 2, as they went outside. Wilson with just 1 pick, the 3rd-year player. Gain of about 3. Let's see where they spot it.
Going to be close.
It sure is.
I like that throw from Chad Henne. He had something on that one to get it so far across the field and complete it as Kyle Wilson was closing in on the play.
Now, when Henne signed here, he knew that he was going to be a backup to Gabbert, didn't he?
Yeah, take a look at this throw. Yeah, he knew he would be a backup. We even talked to him. The Jets also recruited him.
They sure did.
In free agency this offseason. His former coach in Miami, now the offense coordinator for the Jets, Tony Sperano, was very much interested in bringing him to the New York Jets.
They keep 5 in the secondary, 1st and 10. Henne, that's Blackmon again, about the 27-yard line. Cromartie was over there, ushering him out of bounds, and a quick pickup of 6.
Oh, we told you they wanted to get the ball over to Justin Blackmon early in the ball game. Felt like the young rookie, he does better when you can get the ball to him rather quickly. And I think the experience we talk about with Chad Henne, that's where I think it comes to fruition. As you can see, the Jaguars, 0 opening drives in their last 23 games when they've been able to take it down and score points.
Third different running back is back there now, Jordan Todman, 2nd down and 4. In an offensive backfield that has been decimated by injury for Jacksonville, and this is Todman, who tries to pick and poke his way for a couple yards across the way. And Wilkerson makes the stop. Well, in the last opening drive touchdown for this team, let's go back to October 9, 2011 against the Bengals. Maurice Jones-Drew scoring a 6-yard touchdown run. Jaguars have gone 23 games without scoring an opening drive touchdown.
Well, they could use Maurice Jones-Drew today. Not in clothes, but in helmet and shoulder pads. Always very effective when he's in the offense. Represented, 47% of their offense a year ago.
Here's a 3rd and 2. Pickup of 1 to the 24-yard line as they stack the middle right there. I see David Harris getting off that pile along with a couple others, including Kenrick Ellis on the defensive line. So 4th down. Well, if you're 2 and 10, why not? Why not go for it on 1st?
Yeah, you're 2 and 10. You want to try to get out in front. Because with a lead, if you're Mike Mularkey, you want to get a lead on the Jets and try to force Mark Sanchez to have to come out and make plays against your defense, take them out of the run game.
Todman is in. Wimper is the extra offensive lineman. 4th down and a yard. Greg Jones pile driving his way for the 1st down to the 20-yard line. A gain of 4. They get the 1st.
Mike Mularkey loves Greg Jones. He says he's what we want in a football player on our team. Tough, physical, smart, student in the classroom. You can see he trusted him on the 4th and 1, and he paid off the call from his head coach. He's
been battling a thigh injury, too. He's missed a handful of games for this team.
He's less than 100%, but he's better than most, even though he's 80 or 90%.
Owens back in. The 12th play of this Jacksonville tried for them after the Jets had to punt. The tackle is made by Kyle Wilson, run by Montel Owens. The big play on this drive, if you want to call it big, just a 10-yard pass to a offensive lineman who is eligible, Guy Wimper.
Their ability to convert on 3rd down as well as allow them to extend the drive. So far 12 plays, 51 yards. As you can tell, Henny's experience for this football team has really paid off. It's something I think they can build on towards the end of the year.
Still the 2 tight ends, 2nd down and 6. Greg Jones. This open field tackle there by Kyle Wilson. It's a gain of 5. He's near the 10-yard line, and Greg Jones makes the reception, just his 9th of the year for Jacksonville.
And right now, I think the Jets' defense is back on their heels a little bit. We're seeing guys catch the ball in open positions where they have room to not only catch it but run or extend it for the 1st down. Rex Ryan very proud of this defense. I think they've been playing well, even without their best player, Darrelle Revis. But today they're going to have to play even better. Looks like Jaguars may have their number.
68 Wimper is back in on this drive, and as Sal just mentioned, 5 of 5, 3rd and 1. Oh, the big hit from the side and the deflected ball, and it is intercepted on the play. Bart Scott brought down by Wimper, but making it happen was Garrett McIntyre, who came off the edge, drills Chad Henne, and the pick right there and out to the 17-yard line for the Jets.
The lack of pocket presence for Chad Henne, he pays dearly as McIntyre plants him into the ground, is picked off for the Jets. The defense stands up to make Rex Ryan proud.
Well, that was a 13-play drive, and Jacksonville gets nothing out of it.
Well, and they've scored on every red zone possession so far this season until that one.
Cromartie is in motion, the defensive back, and also plays receiver as you see, 1st and 10. It goes to Cromartie from Sanchez, who is brought down on the play by Jason Babin. It's a loss of 2, and he's back to the 15-yard line after the Bart Scott interception.
Take a look at Guy Wimper here, and then McIntyre is going to come free. He's going to come on a delayed blitz. But then, see, Wimper is supposed to fan out and take him, but he doesn't. And so it's a clear track to the quarterback. He gets the hit, the ball flutters, and Bart Scott makes a terrific play, getting the turnover. Got to protect the quarterback, and if you don't, McIntyre will find it.
Rasheem Mathis is the extra defensive back, 2nd down and 12. Here goes Sanchez outside once again. Gilliard with it and on the move, and hit by Landry, and out of bounds he goes. Dwan Landry stopping him after a gain of 11, and the catch and run takes him out to the 26.
Well, pass game getting going. How about giving some throws to Mark Sanchez, to Tony Sperano, that he could complete? You can see he stepped out of bounds a little early there. Gilliard could have gotten more out of it. He just continued up the field, stepped out of bounds a little early, but Sperano giving Mark Sanchez, giving his quarterback some easy plays to complete, just to get him in rhythm and improve the confidence.
John Green on 3rd and 1. And Brzezinski brings them down. Gain of 4. First down up to the 30-yard line on the play. They'll move the chains in for complete pro football coverage, including everything you need to know from this weekend's matchups all the way through Super Bowl 47, which will be televised on CBS. Visit cbssports.com/NFL.
It's been a tough week for Mark Sanchez, and getting a second chance here today, Kevin, this week has tested his mental toughness, his strength of character. Everything's on the line today.
1st and 10 for Green. As they move right there, Landry from the secondary brings them down. Gain of 6 up to the 36-yard line.
And going back to Mark Sanchez, we all fail at some point, don't we? We all stumble, but I think the real test for Mark Sanchez is how do you respond to failure? I think that's the key determining factor. I think that's why everyone wants to see how he is going to play today. His head coach believes in him. We talked to his teammates. They all seem to believe in him. But now it's the moment of truth. He has to come out and make it happen here today.
2nd down for Green. Looking for a block from Moore. Not much there. The rookie Mike Harris starting today on the edge. Makes the stop, and it's a gain of 1. Yes, Sanchez told us last night his family has been incredibly supportive. In fact, his center, Nick Mangold, said that, he texted Mark late last Sunday night saying, hey, you know where to find me if you need me.
Oh, the teammates were very supportive. And, we talked to him about, his demeanor on the sideline after being benched. He was taking notes. He said, I just did for Greg McElroy what I would want him to do and what he has always done. He would always chart plays for me, so I felt it was the right thing to do the same when Greg McElroy went into the ball game.
Noel Powell is back there, 3rd and 3 for Sanchez. Got a block from tie and incomplete, and they were looking on the play for rookie Stephen Hill. Coverage by Derek Cox, and they'll have to punt. Well, his dad was here earlier before the game started on the field and greeting Mark. He's very close to his father. And then Tebow comes over, as you can see, and so he's leaned on his dad, Nick, a lot this week.
Yeah, he said that, family support has been great. And he said the family knows it's not a talent thing, it's not a preparation thing. I just have to go out and play.
Malone to Quan Cosby from the 12-yard line and hit and brought down on the play. Great special teams pursuit on the play. Ellis Langster was there. 50-yard punt. Second possession coming up for Jacksonville. About 35 miles south of here down in St. Augustine, you can go see 9-foot crocodiles. There's another gator here. Tim Tebow active today, 2 cracked ribs, not 100%, but suited up. And the second quarterback, Kenrick Ellis, will begin on the defensive line this particular series for the Jets. 1st and 10. Penny hit once from Wilkerson. Gets it off to Owens. And that was brought down by Bart Scott, who has an interception in the game. It is a gain of 11 on the play.
Yeah, this is like a pump fake for Henny. Watch, Wilkerson comes in. He'll get him off his feet and then duck right underneath. Comes up throwing the ball. It's good pressure in the face of Chad Henne, but he remained poised. Look at the pump fake. He ducks underneath, comes up throwing. Real athletic play. Wilkerson thought he was going to play J.J. Watt and bat one down.
See the 2 tight ends. 68 Wimper is in. 1st and 10. Todman is in the backfield, and there goes the flag, and that is a false start on Jacksonville.
False start. Number 73 offense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
And our first penalty of the game.
Well, Jacksonville got off to a good start, led by their quarterback, Chad Henne. Did a really good job spreading the ball around. 7 different players with a run or a reception on this drive. Henne had gone 5 for 5 until this throw. He was hit, then intercepted by Bart Scott. Ended up going 5 for 6 on the drive. Costly turnover in the red zone.
1st and 15. Henne, Blackman. Kyle Wilson was covering on the play near the 29. Pickup of 9 on 1st and 15.
And already Blackman off to a good start. 3 catches in the game so far. Henne said they wanted to get him the ball early. Remember, Cecil Shorts is not in today's game, and I think that's a huge impact on their offense. He had been such a surprise and explosive playmaker. Now they have to rely on Blackman on the outside. Look for them to work the tight end and maybe the slot receiver Jordan Shipley as well.
2nd down and 6. Todman Jeremiah Bell grabs him and brings him down with no gain on the play. That is the end of the first quarter. An interception by Bart Scott deep in his own zone, saving a scoring play by the Jaguars. The big play so far. Here in Jacksonville, an interception by Bart Scott in the red zone was a big defensive play for the Jets, but offensively 3 and out, 6 and out. Here comes Jacksonville now with a 3rd and 6 on their second possession this afternoon. Henning with the blitz by Bell, the incompletion. They were looking for Elliott. There were 5 in the secondary. The pressure was there. Bell led it all the way. They got a punt. Once again in the game, Jacksonville 4 and out.
Well, they showed 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Then they added 7. Jeremiah Bell was the blitzing safety, and they never accounted for him. Watch him creep up here, and he's going to come free as they drop out Eric Smith. So it's one of those things that Rex Ryan's defense will show you. They can confuse your protection. They also will confuse your quarterback.
Here's Jeremy Curley looking up into that bright Florida sun. Fair caught after the 53-yard punt by rookie Brian Anger. Here comes Sanchez and the Jets again. That boat belongs to the new owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Shad Khan. He purchased the team. He's a Chicago-based businessman and invested fully in this franchise. Here's the 3rd possession for Sanchez and his offense, punting the first 2 times. 1st and 10 right here. Sanchez on the move, chased by Pug, Lesney, and Allen. And sliding to about the 23-yard line on the play. And here is kind of a quick pictorial of the way the press is handled from the very beginning of Tebow's entrance into the New York market and right through the season.
A tumultuous season of disappointments, letdowns, mistakes, fumbles, turnovers. This is a team that's 5 and 7. Rex Ryan said many have left us for dead, but we have a group that cares and competes. He said, you know, we haven't had any dissension, or you would know about it. He's right.
3 tight ends here for Powell, who brings it up on 2nd down and 6 and picks up 3. He's to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, he talked about the fact that this is a close-knit team. He said they're going to continue to fight. They believe they can win out these 4 games, and they're going to continue to compete. I love the attitude when we met with both Rex Ryan and some of his players yesterday. They seemed like they're ready to make a move. The point is they have to go out and play better. Mark Sanchez have to protect the football and can't turn it over. I think that's priority number 1.
Dukas is in as a left guard on this series. 3rd down and 3. 5 defensive backs for Jacksonville, and Sanchez looking for Curley. Catches the pass off his hip, brought down by the defensive back. Landry picks up 12. 1st down to the 37. Let's go to New York and James.
It's a hot Cincinnati team. Yes, and Andy Dalton, his 25th touchdown pass of the year, and it's a little shovel pass to Andrew Hawkins. He goes around the corner, 8-yard touchdown, 7-3 Cincinnati. Back to Kevin and Solly.
Oh, JB, my Cincinnati Bengals are on a roll.
Powell remains. Alex Hilliard is the fullback. It is a 1st down to the 37-yard line. 3 and out, 6 and out in the first 2 possessions for the Jets. Powell right into a thicket of defenders. There's not a whole lot right there. And the tackle made by rookie Julian Stanford on a gain of 4 just beyond the 40-yard line.
What did Rex Ryan tell us was the key to victory? Rushing attempts, completions, win the turnover battle. He feels that's their key to victory every single week. Last week, it undermined the fact that they played very good on defense when, of course, Mark Sanchez had 3 interceptions in the ballgame. If he can protect the football and lean on the defense in a run game, they feel they can easily win this ballgame today.
Cromartie atop your screen. 2nd down and 6. Now once again, Mosley jumps on the former Jet and also put down by Paul Lesney on a gain of 1 near the 42.
Right now, you have to give the Jacksonville Jaguars credit defensively, not allowing the Jets to rip off those run plays. But I love what Nick Mangold told us as we take a look at Paul Lesney. Nick Mangold, the center for the Jets, said that the run game is like chopping down a tree. You have to keep swinging the axe, and with every swing, something good will happen. Then all of a sudden, the tree comes tumbling down. They believe the run game works the same way.
Problem is, they need Paul Bunyan to be chopping. Here's a 3rd and 5, and both slipping across the way. And look at Cox was defending, and the player down right there and holding on to the knees. You can see the rookie Stephen Hill, and that does not look good. As they slipped on the surface, we told you earlier it had rained.
Defense number 21. The ball will be placed in spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
It had rained before the game. The field was slick, and we just saw maybe some residual effect right there, unfortunately, for the Jets and rookie Stephen Hill. He's been battling a knee injury as it is. Didn't practice on Wednesday. Limited on Thursday, holding his knee on Sunday. There is in the mix right there, Stephen Hill. He is laying down and taking a look at his knee. It was his right knee. Schillens is in there replacing him. Powell remains in the backfield. A 14-yard penalty right there on Cox in the secondary for the Jags. 1st and 10 right here, and there's Curley, and he was held by Cox, and he's been penalized again. Cox is battling a hamstring, so he is not 100%. He didn't play last week, in fact, in Buffalo. So he's back this week, and Alberto Riveron and crew will discuss.
Well, we always say you got to play coverage with your feet, not your
Pass
hands.
interference, number 21 defense. The ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
So you can play with your hands within 5 yards, but then you can't jam them or make contact with the receiver beyond 5 yards. And I think Cox was in that no man's land, or about 6 yards down the field. Not only did he reach out to jam him, held on to clearly a little bit.
Jason Smith, an extra offensive lineman on the left side. 1st down and 10. Smith does this a lot, rotates as either a pass catching tight end in a eligible offensive line position. Here is a run by Powell, and he tries to carve out a couple. There's not a whole lot there. He's gaining 3, and he's down to the 36. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Dan Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowell for the latest NFL scores, highlights, and news. It comes your way from our CBS studios in New York. It's the Verizon Halftime Report. Here we have no score. The big play, an interception by Bart Scott in the red zone on the first possession by the Jaguars. Here is a 2nd and 7 for Sanchez at the Jacksonville 36. Good blocked by DeBrickashaw Ferguson over the head of Curley. The defense on the play by Cox, who's been penalized the last 2 plays for Jacksonville.
And this is one of the things that have plagued Mark Sanchez, accuracy. He's going out to Curley. Now just hit him. He overthrows him, throws it high. Ball could have been intercepted. When the receiver, Curley, comes out of the break, look, the ball's got to be right on him, Kevin. Can't be high, can't be inside. His 55% completion percentage is a number that really, I think, has the entire organization and everyone in New York questioning as to whether or not he can be their starting quarterback of the future.
6 defensive backs, 3rd down and 7. They come around to Ricochet Ferguson. There's a fumble on the play. Jason Babin was the none to knock it away, and that is a fumble. A turnover. Sanchez has it knocked away. I think Babin was the one coming off the edge, and for Sanchez, his 19th total turnover this season.
And we talked about accuracy. This is the other thing that has plagued Sanchez. Got to have ball protection. He's hit, he's stripped, he's fumbled. Something we've seen way too much from Mark Sanchez. We are back. You can see Mark Sanchez, his 45th turnover in the last 2 years, tied for most in the NFL. We know Phillip Rivers has turned it over. Well, Mark Sanchez has done the same over the last 2 seasons.
Starting line out there for the Jets. 1st down and 10 here on the turnover by the quarterback Sanchez. A handoff to Montel Owens. Not right there because Muhammad Wilkerson makes the stop. 1st round pick last year. That is a gain of 3 by Owens. An aerial coverage of today's game in overcast Jacksonville, provided by DirecTV.
We talked about rushing attempts. We talked about completions and winning the turnover battle. This Jets defense has played well. Tim Tebow has to play to their strengths, Kevin, and not give the ball back over to the opponent like what we've seen last week and so far this week.
2nd down and 7. He's got the rookie Elliott. Working on Cromartie, working on Bell. 22-yard strike. Put him down to the New York Jet 32.
Well, we've seen Henne be very accurate throwing the ball and decisive too. Look at this throw to Elliott. He gets inside of Cromartie. It's an excellent throw and great catch. He wins the battle of leverage, beating Cromartie inside. And Cromartie said that he had to be physical with these wide receivers. He didn't get up to the line of scrimmage and jam Elliott at all. laying off now.
Owens remains. First down and 10. Here comes Montel Owens. Second career start. And he was stopped on the play by Jeremiah Bell, longtime Miami Dolphin, close to a first down run near the 22-yard line. Move the chains. They're going to give him the first.
Oh, they like Montel Owens. He had primarily been a special teamer, a Pro Bowler as a return man on special teams. So you know he has some wheels. He's got great vision, great open field runner. Might he be the guy to help this Jaguar offense against a really good Jets defense today?
It only carried 7 times coming into today. Jordan Todman is in there right now with a couple of tight ends. It's 1st and 10 for Jacksonville on the fumble by Sanchez. Todman brought down in the secondary. LaRon Landry gets a hand on him. He is the second leading tackler for the Jets. It is a gain of 6 down to the 16-yard line.
They're starting to get some movement against this Jets defense. The Jets have to get stronger at the point of attack. First of all, they have to strip the Jaguars of their running game. Force them to be more one-dimensional. Then Cromartie and that pass rush can unleash something on Chad Henne. Rex Ryan right now appearing to be very frustrated.
Second down and 4. Greg Jones, and he is the fullback, and it's a gain of 3, and he was brought down by the leading tackler, Brian Scott. So on the second 4, picks up 3 down to about the 12.
You got to be impressed with the way Henne has played today. Yes, he has the red zone interception, but he's 9 of 11 today, 72 yards throwing the football, very efficient when the protection holds up. But remember, as they are now inside the red zone again, this Rex Ryan defense, they'll give you some different looks. They're capable of striking and making a play, and he's got to protect the football equally as well.
3rd down and 1. Greg Jones trying to carve his way in there, and Bauha was the one to plug the gap. Harris was there as well. There is no gain on the play. It is 4th and 1, and they remain at about the 12.
Wilkerson was there getting some penetration against Mike Mularkey's offense, trying to decide if he wants to go for it on 4th down.
Now they have converted a 4th and 1 earlier in the game.
Yes, they have. And we said it before, they're 2 and 10. You have nothing to lose. But I think that sooner or later, you've got to start turning some of these turnovers into points. Last I checked, it's the one statistic that always holds up. You have more points, you tend to win the game.
They're going to take a timeout here as that play clock, as you see on the far right, continues to roll down. The Jets are 5 and 7. They've won 2 of 3, but overall lost 4 of 6. Jaguars on the move. They're going to think it over. Jacksonville called the timeout, thought things over on 4th and 1. They'll go for 3.
I think they have to go for 3. You have to come away with points on this second red zone possession. Came up goose egg on the previous possession when they were intercepted.
Here's the record-setting kicker, Josh Scobie. It is a 31-yarder and 3 on the board for Jacksonville on that drive. They got a 22-yard pass to Elliott, a 10-yard run by Owens. They cash in on the fumble by Mark Sanchez. That's the St. Johns River here in downtown Jacksonville. When they had the Super Bowl here, they had all kinds of cruise ships docked up on the side of the river, and people use those as hotel rooms. They needed more space, and that's where they got it. Well, we just saw a 31-yard field goal by Scobie. They cash in on the fumble by Sanchez. And here's the ensuing kickoff by Josh Scobie. And McKnight lets it roll right away. If you missed us in the beginning, he had migraines last night. They weren't sure if he was going to be suited up. 4th trip out there for Mark Sanchez, down by 3. After last week's game, Solomon, Mark Sanchez went home and he said, well, you played yourself into this position, and now you got to get it back.
But he's got to protect the football, and you have to wonder if he turns it over again, particularly here in the first half. Is there a quick hook here? Do we see a Tim Tebow? Rex Ryan's going to have to make a decision.
Here's a 1st and 10. Sanchez on the move, and he's got his receiver, and it's caught by Chaz Schillens, a former Oakland Raider. A 17-yard pickup, and he's up to the 37.
So they come out, and already they're just going to dial up a throw. They get him out of the pocket. Nice throw. Great accuracy while on the move by Mark Sanchez. Remember, Kevin, he's completed 50% or less in 6 of their 12 games this season. That's not nearly as good as what you would like. So that's where he has to improve his completion percentage.
With Swanson back in at the left guard, 1st and 10 for Sanchez. Sean Green Holding on for dear life is Paul Puzlesny. It's a gain of 5, and he moves him and Puzlesny out to the 42-yard line. Green.
Mark Sanchez, it's well documented his struggles. Of course, early in this game, he's had some incompletions, overthrow, underthrows, and missing his intended receivers, and then not protecting the ball when he's hit in the pocket. Got to have 2 hands on it, possess it. Already 1 turnover. His 19 turnovers are more than 11 teams' full total on the season.
Sanchez, 2nd down and 5. Got a block for more on the move. Needs the 47, has the first, and slides in front of the rookie, Julian Stanford. It's a pickup of 8 on the play. Sanchez on the ground, on the move. A gain of 8.
This is a good decision by Mark Sanchez. He's quick, he's decisive, still in the pressure, climb the pocket, now take off and do something. And this is what Rex Ryan wants to see, a confident, more assured, good decision-making Mark Sanchez.
Mark 58!
Again, the 2 tight ends, 1st and 10 for Sanchez. Green, and stopped up inside, minimal gain. Sanchez said he spoke to former teammate Mark Brunell, and Mark says, hey, listen, you think you had it bad? I was booed one time so bad in Washington, there were chants for the backup quarterback's name, and his 2 small children, he said, were in the audience, and they were chanting for the backup quarterback's name, too, and they were booing.
Hey, if you play any length of time in the National Football League, you're going to hear it.
Yeah.
And the ability, as we said before, to bounce back from it, I think is the true test of character.
2nd down and 9 outside. Oda got some space right here with Curley, and they quickly, and he fumbled the ball, and it's recovered by Jacksonville and picked up by the former Jet Lowry. Off to the races, chased by Cumberland. He's all the way for the touchdown. Curley caught it, coughed it up, and vacuumed in by Dwight Lowry.
You can't blame this one on Mark Sanchez. It was a good throw from Sanchez to Curley. And watch Curley to the outside. Makes the catch, trying to create yards after the catch, trying to stretch for the 1st down, doesn't protect it. Derek Cox strips it. And look, is he touched while on the ground? Did Curley touch Lowry while he was on the ground with the football? Because if he did, then Lowry would be down by contact. Now there you see it. It is a fumble. Ball's out. Now there he is. He's on the ground. I can't see from that angle if Curley actually touches Lowry, because if he did, they're going to have to bring this ball back, Kevin. Now they review all turnovers automatically. Take a look. There's Lowry. Now there's some contact right there.
Clearly.
I believe he's down by contact. There's no touchdown on the play.
All turnovers are reviewed. All scoring plays are automatically reviewed. And with this being a turnover and a scoring play, it is being reviewed.
Wow. Rex Ryan knows the only way they can come in here and lose a game is start turning the ball over, as they did 1 week ago against the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, we know it's a 2nd Jet turnover. We're just going to now wait and see where they're going to spot the ball with Jacksonville taking over.
Well, this is something that has to frustrate Rex Ryan and this football team that is the New York Jets. They seem to have been snake bitten. You rode through all the headlines, not just for the season. How about the headlines we've seen just this week? We didn't know who was going to be the starting quarterback. 1 of 3. Was it going to be Greg McElroy, Tim Tebow? We talked to the coach last night. He said that he thought long and hard. He wanted to get it right, decided to go with Mark Sanchez because he's won a number of games in the playoffs against guys like Carson Palmer, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Phillip Rivers. Said that he had earned and maybe deserved a second chance, but right now so far not looking so good.
The New York media had framed the decision as perhaps the biggest in his 4 years as head coach, and he had to think about it last night when we talked to him. He said, I don't know if that's true.
He didn't seem so sure about that one, though. Right, yeah. He may be sure about who to start at quarterback, but not on how big the decision is.
There was a completion on the play. After the completion, the player fumbled the ball, recovered by the defense. While he was down, he was touched. Therefore, it is not a touchdown. He is down by contact at the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 for Jacksonville at the 39. Please reset the clock to show 4:17. 4:17, please.
2 consecutive turnovers for the New York Jets.
Yeah, and Gurley makes a critical mistake. Doesn't protect the ball as he's going for the first down, but he makes up for it, maybe minimizing his mistake on the fumble because his ability to touch Lowry right there saved a touchdown. Look at the Jets, 11 turnovers, Kevin, in their last 3 games. We might also talk about the fact they turned it over on those 3 interceptions last week, and they still managed to win the ball game against Arizona.
Yank Sanchez, they put in McElroy, who is not suited up today. They only have the 2 quarterbacks, and Tebow is number 2 after getting some pregame work, and they cleared him 1st and 10 from the 39, Chad Henne. Justin Blackman out of Oklahoma State, chased out of bounds by LaRon Landry. The catch and run put him in midfield, a 12-yard pickup.
How about Blackman? He's working it, and Henne's making sure he doesn't forget about the rookie. There's a guy that had roughly 250 receiving yards entering week 11 against Houston. He nearly doubled his season total in that game alone, and from then on, he's caught fire. You can tell he's got confidence, knows what he's doing out there.
Montel Owens on 1st and 10. Scott was out of position. Another tackle made by LaRon Landry. It is a gain of 5, and he's down to the New York Jet 45-yard line. Well, tonight on CBS, a 60 minutes investigation into the city known as the false confession capital of America. Plus, Hugh Jackman on 60 Minutes tonight and only on CBS. 2nd down and 5.
Well, you love the way the Jacksonville Jaguars are at least running the ball well enough, Kevin, to provide balance against this Jets defense. It's one of the reasons why they've been able to move the ball consistently. Remember, they have to convert in those red zone possessions.
Henne bobbled, dropped by the rookie, and that is Kevin Elliott, who earlier caught a pass of 22 yards. It's 3rd and 5.
Wow. If Elliott catches this one, and watch, he's going to come across the field. It's a catch and run. I mean, this is a good throw from Henne. But look, there's not a white jersey within 10 yards of him. If he catches this one, he's going to run for some big-time yards. Came wide open. Accurate throw from Henne, and all he's got to do is just catch that one. And not only will he have a first down, he's going to have a huge game.
He's undrafted out of Florida A&M. Todman is the running back, 3rd down and 5. 5 in the secondary for the New York Jets, and Henne looks at it all, and he goes to Todman outside, and he is stiff-arming his way into Bell. Also hit by Calvin Pace. There is a gain of a yard, shy of the first. They're down to the 44-yard line.
Good close by Bell and Pace. There was no gain on that one. And then he's going back to the 2nd down play when Elliott dropped the ball. That's how you keep the offense on schedule. You have those kind of opportunities. You have to take advantage of it. Curley's going to go back to receive the punt.
2nd punt in 4 possessions for the Jaguars. Can't cash in on the fumble by Curley and the Jets. Curley is back there at the 15. Fair caught with Elliott in his face, and a 30-yard punt by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Kevin, let's take a look at some of the backup quarterbacks with big games this season. How about out in San Francisco? Colin Kaepernick won his first 2 games as a starter for the 49ers this season. Last week, Charlie Batch, he helped lead Pittsburgh to a huge win over the Baltimore Ravens, saving their season perhaps. And Greg McElroy came off the bench to throw the only touchdown pass for the Jets in a win against Arizona. That was just huge. So backup quarterbacks play a huge role for their football teams. Could Tim Tebow be in that role this week for the New York Jets?
Jacksonville's made a change of cornerback. Mathis has taken the place of Derek Cox, who's had 2 penalties on him. Here's Sanchez, 1st and 10. Dropped by Lex Hilliard. Incomplete. Signed back in early October to replace the injured John Connor. 2nd down and 10.
Oh, Hilliard's got to catch this one from Mark Sanchez. Got to be able to keep the chains moving. You get the ball out in space, you come up and make one defender miss. You make one guy miss, you're going to pick up a first down.
Well, we told you earlier that Dustin Keller was out, and here is another injury. Jeff Cumberland taking the place of Keller. He is on the sideline. Don't know if he's going to return because he's pulled a hamstring.
Sanchez can't force the ball here, trying to stay on the field. He's smart.
Howard aside. On 2nd down and 10, Lowe going for Gilliard, and it is incomplete, which brings up 3rd down and 10, and Mathis was there with the coverage.
Gilliard hadn't been around much. Sanchez expecting the back shoulder throw. expecting Gilliard to open up and come back to the ball. See, he throws it right at the chains. I think this is a good throw from Sanchez, to be honest with you. Gilliard, he drifted at the top of his route, which rendered that ball to be thrown low right around his feet.
Into the nickel, 3rd down and 10 for Sanchez. Good block by Howard, the right tackle. It's off to Ruin, and he is up in with a big-time stick right there, made by Dwan Landry. His brother LaRon plays for the Jets. It is a catch and run of 2 by Conrad Ruin. They're shy of the first. They got a punt.
Well, they play for 2 different teams, but they hit and lay a lick just the same. Take a look at this tackle by Dwan Landry. Comes up just like his brother. They're good football players and playing a long time in the National Football League.
LaRon is his younger brother. Dwan is older just by not that much. There's another timeout by Jacksonville. Now they've got 1 remaining. Jets have all 3 timeouts remaining. Those Landry boys grew up in Louisiana. And Dwan, who has played for Baltimore, 5 years in fact for the Ravens, and LaRon, who played his early years as a number 6 overall pick for the Washington Redskins, and Malone to punt. Quan Cosby back, and he's going to watch this go out of bounds and into the Jets bench. 43-yard punt, and Jacksonville will take over. Speaking of those Landry brothers, there they are back in high school in Huntsville. That's about 30 miles outside of New Orleans.
Yeah, can you guess who's who?
One was a quarterback. I'm going to say...
about LaRon right there. That's LaRon. There's LaRon. Look at the afro going. And the other one, look at Dwan. He keeps the low cut. He attends the barbershop every other week.
Dwan on the right was the high school quarterback. LaRon on the left was a defensive player. The good news is they got 2 free educations by playing at some pretty good schools. Here's a 1st and 10 for Chad Henne. He was a 4-year starter at the University of Michigan. And a starter with the Miami Dolphins, drafted by Bill Parcells in Miami. Played for Tony Sperano, who's on the other side for the Jets today, calling plays to New York. And on 1st and 10, he overshoots his receiver with the coverage on the play by Kyle Wilson. He was aiming for Jordan Shipley.
Let's go back and talk about Henne. He was a free agent this offseason. Remember when he came out the same year as Matt Ryan. And the Atlanta Falcons also scouted him along with Matt Ryan, and that's when Malarkey was the offensive coordinator in Atlanta. So he said he wanted the opportunity to play for Malarkey, and that's how he ended up here in Jacksonville.
1st round pick, Quentin Coples on the defensive line for the Jets at 2nd down and 10. New York has 5 in their secondary, which Henne will throw into, and Blackman will drop the ball with the coverage by linebacker David Harris. In fact, he and Chad Henne were teammates at Michigan. Harris along with Henne. Incomplete, Blackman dropping.
Yeah, pressure in the face of Henne, not able to step up into this throw. There's Eric Smith, but the ball's still on the money. Blackman's got to haul it in. Harris tight end coverage. We've seen a lot of drop balls today from both teams.
Well, we sure heard a lot of praise about Henne, how his professionalism, the way he has tried to inject himself into this new team.
The way he has worked with the young wide receivers. We've seen some shorts sort of come of age with Chad Henne at quarterback.
3rd and 10, going deep and looking for Blackman. And the coverage right there by Antonio Cromartie. It's 3 and out. Jaguars have got to punt the ball.
Cromartie, 6'2", 210 pounds. He's long. So if you're going to go over the top, you've got to get separation. And you can see he's step for step with Blackman. I don't think Blackman can run away from Cromartie. You can see Henne very frustrated. Like the rookie wide receiver got to win in those opportunities. But he's going up against one of the best. I think Cromartie has played phenomenally well in the absence of Darrelle Revis.
Ryan Angerer is a rookie, and his numbers right now are the best through this many games for any rookie punter since the merger in 70. Curley is back there waving it away inside the 10. Well-placed punt. It'll die at the 9. Angerer. Boy, they like him. Big-time leg. 48-yard punt. Here comes Sanchez. 1:49 before halftime. Not a very good offensive resume for the Jets in this first half.
No, they have struggled, but in the final 2 minutes of the first half, they've scored 8 times so far this season. 1 touchdown, 7 field goals. So let's see what they do in the final 2 minutes of the first half today.
Dukas is back in as the left guard. Here comes Powell. Cumberland is back in the game after a hamstring, and Bilal Paul takes it into the possession of DeJuan Landry on a gain of 5.
There you can see the first 5 possessions here in the first half. They've had to punt it 3 times. They've got 2 fumbles on those other 2 possessions. Only 88 total yards of offense so far in the game for this New York Jets offense in their first 5 possessions. They've struggled. Let's give the Jaguars defense some credit, but Rex Ryan's got to want more out of his quarterback and more out of his offense.
Jason Smith has come in as a tackle-eligible extra offensive lineman, 63, second down and 5. What a corkscrew move right there. Not a whole lot there as C.J. Mosley makes the stop, and that's Powell who's trying to dig his way and doesn't gain anything. Hey, coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, James Brown, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Bill Cowher with the latest NFL scores, news, and highlights. All coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report from our CBS studios. Third down and 5.
Yeah, pick third down, because if you're Rex Ryan and you don't get anything out of this offensive possession, they're 6th of the game. Do you make a change at halftime at quarterback? This crowd, he could hijack the whole crowd. You put Tim Tebow in the game, he'll turn the crowd on these Jacksonville Jaguars.
3 defensive backs, third down and 5. Powell looks like he crawls, one of those defensive backs. Landry was the guy to get him along with Terrence Knighton. And he picks up a yard. He gets to the 14. That's not enough. They got to punt the ball again. Second consecutive 3 and out for the Jets.
They have to get something going on offense. Maybe the defense has to score some points here today for the New York Jets.
Robert Malone. Juan Cosby at the 41-yard line for Jacksonville. Finds a gap. He tries to sneak through. Long snapper just about knocked him down. Tanner Perdum. He slowed him up at least. 14-yard return on a 45-yard punt. And the ball is in Jets territory.
And that's key. A good field position for Chad Henne. Of course, there's 12 seconds left to go. That gives them time for maybe one shot down the middle of the field to set up Josh Scobie, who we know has a phenomenal leg.
Kick the punch over 50. Let's see what Henne does here. They just got in from the sideline, but there seems to be some confusion as they line up their receivers. A look at Scobie right there. You see the target line. He needs to get another 4 yards or so before he is ready to go. The Jets have taken a timeout. The Jaguars are out of timeouts. In this contest, New York has punted twice, fumbled twice, and the last 2 possessions, 2 3 and outs for a solemn-looking Mark Sanchez, and a lot on the plate certainly for Rex Ryan. This team is still alive, 5-7 coming in, winning 2 of 3, but they've lost 4 of their last 6. So whichever way you look at it, they are on the outside looking in right now.
That means their playoff hopes are on life support.
Yeah.
and they can ill afford to have it hit a flat line here in Jacksonville. They expect to come in here against a team that's 2-10 and win the ball game. And I know Rex Ryan could tell when we talked to him last night, he had a great deal more confidence that his team would play much better than they have here in the first half.
Jets have got 5 in the secondary, 1st and 10. Henne, Shipley, Cromartie knocks him out of bounds. And the catch down to about the 37. In fact, it is exactly at the 37. A pickup of 7, got out of bounds, stopped the clock at 8 seconds. So now, as we just saw the target line, they are well within the range of Josh Scobie.
And it appears as though they're going to run another play with 8 seconds to go.
Second down and 3. And the Jets had to call a timeout because they could not get Garrett McIntyre off the field in time. And had they taken the penalty, it would have moved him in even closer. So now they've got 1 timeout. Rex Ryan with 8 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Now, keep in mind, the Jaguars are out of timeouts here in the first half. If you're the Jets, you want to defend the boundary. If you let them complete a pass over the middle of the field, they're going to run out of time with 8 seconds to go. They're not going to be able to get the field goal team on the field fast enough to kick the field goal. I would be inclined to let them catch it over the middle of the field, but certainly you have to defend the out-of-bounds marker, knowing they're going to want to catch it and get out of bounds to stop the clock.
Well, you see the assortment of receivers and tight ends and running backs they have with his second down and 3. Jets have put in a 6th defensive back. Here is Henne. Keep track of the time and now throws it away. The coverage was there. The opening was not. He was looking maybe in the vicinity of Mercedes Lewis. They're going to try for three, and Scobie will come out onto the field in 3 seconds remaining in the first half here in Jacksonville.
Jets defenders did exactly what I expected. They jumped the out route. They defend any throw towards the boundary. It was smartly played, forcing Henning to throw it away.
This is a 55-yard try, his season-long 50. There is negligible wind inside the old Gator Bowl here in Jacksonville. A 55-yarder. And he's got distance but no accuracy, so he is wide left, missing from 55, which takes us to halftime. We'll be back with the Verizon Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, the home to Super Bowl 47. Halftime score and some of your first half thoughts.
Well, I'm still waiting for some offense to break out in this football game. The New York Jets in 6 possessions, all we've seen is 4 punts, 2 fumbles, and less than 100 yards total offense for the New York Jets. And both offenses have struggled. Chad Henne got him off to a good start, but this interception down inside the red zone cost them some points. And then you see the fumble there by Mark Sanchez. It turned into a Josh Scobie field goal. And this team continues to put the ball on the ground. Jeremy Curley, he puts it on the ground. It's recovered by Lowry. And you can see 2 turnovers so far in the game for the New York Jets. So that problem continues to plague them. And the Jaguars have 3 points off those 2 turnovers. They turned it over also. Maybe it's the team who can protect the football the most. That's who's going to win the ball game. I think if you're the New York Jets, your halftime adjustment is you've got to be more productive running the football to help Mark Sanchez manufacture offense.
We saw 3 turnovers on there. There were 2 by Rex Ryan and the Jets. There was a fumble by Sanchez. There was a fumble by Curley. Jacksonville. And we see that we've got Jacksonville receiving. They won the opening flip. They deferred, and so the Jaguars will get it to begin the second half. And here we go. Todman is back. And a good tackle on the play, and it was made by Josh Bush, who is a rookie 6th-round pick, a 13-yard return. And here comes Chad Henne and the offense, the numbers for the quarterbacks in the first half.
That was a real good tackle. They'll have the Jaguars trapped inside their own 15-yard line. You can see the numbers for the quarterbacks, very comparable. 7 of 11 for Mark Sanchez, but of those incompletions, there were some not so good throws where he threw it high and missed the intended receiver even though they were open.
5 defensive backs, 1st and 10. Henne, and incomplete for Blackman with the coverage on the play by Landry. There was a good block to get that away by the running back, Richard Murphy, who bought time for the quarterback.
Well, this one was well defended by that Jets secondary. You could tell they were on top of it. What did Mike Mularkey tell us about this Jets defense? He says, you know, they give you a lot of different looks. They want to confuse you. You know, they give you some things that aren't in the playbook. He said, that's how we want to be. He said, but right now with so many injuries, so many players out right now, he feels they're very vanilla on both sides of the ball.
2nd down and 10. This is Murphy's out of LSU, and shiftily takes it up to the 19-yard line, picking up 9 on the play. He was undrafted, and he was on IR a season ago for Jacksonville.
Yep, Jacksonville Jaguars, you can see in their possessions in the first half, only 1 field goal. Then they missed one just before the end of the first half, and they've been forced to punt it 3 times, and then we told you about the early interception, but they had an opportunity to score some points. But Henne was picked off down inside the red zone.
Ready? It's 3rd down and 1. Henne. Over the head of Blackman in the vicinity covering was Antonio Cromartie. So a quick 3 and out to begin the second half for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, Henne, they're going to get him out of the pocket. Watch it, Kevin. Get him out on the move, trying to get it over to Blackman. Well defended. See how Cromartie undercut that route? That was just well played by Antonio Cromartie. Watch him undercut this throw. See how he gets in front of it? That's why the ball's thrown high. Had Henne put it right on the money, Cromartie was in great position to get an interception.
Anger to punt. And Curley is back to get it. He's going to give the Jets some pretty good beginning field position. A 42-yard punt. And they'll start things with a flag down. They'll start things at the 38 as they stand right now.
Illegal motion, number 30 on the kicking team. Will be added on to the end of the play.
Jordan Todman was guilty for the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's a look at Mark Sanchez.
He's going to start the second half, and you have to wonder when Rex Ryan has seen enough. When will we possibly see Tim Tebow returning to his hometown? Will there be a quick hook for Sanchez if he has another turnover or for lack of production on the offense?
McElroy is not suited up today. He is inactive. He's the one who led him to the win last week. First down and 10 right here from the 43. Good block by Howard, the right tackle. That is right on the screws at the 48-yard line. The catch was made on the play by the receiver Schillens. The hit on the play by Allen, among others. Mark him at the 47-yard line.
See, I think if you're Mark Sanchez, you've got to come out. You've got to assert yourself as the leader of this football team on this first possession in the second half. If I'm Rex Ryan, I don't see something early here in the second half for Mark Sanchez. I got to think about going to Tim Tebow. He gives you something, especially down inside the red zone, Kevin. I think that you need something to spark this offense.
Two tight ends on first and 10. Sean Green, and he finds a hole over the left side and works his way to the 39, and that's a pickup of 8 on first down for the Jets.
How about the run game in order to spark this offense? Matt Slauson at the left guard position, Brickashaw, Ferguson, Nick Mango, the stellar center, starting to get some movement. Mango told us it's like chopping a tree, and it takes multiple swings, but sooner or later that tree comes down on one swing. But it's the accumulative effect that they want to wear down this defense by multiple runs. 0 points in their last 17 drives, led by their current quarterback Mark Sanchez.
Derek Cox is the player down, and we can see that they've gone scoreless, with Cox getting up very slowly, and Rashean Mathis will take his place in the secondary for Jacksonville.
Mathis is a veteran of the National Football League. Had been playing some nickel corner. Remember, he underwent growing surgery and significant injury, which has really cut down his playing time. Jason
Smith is in as an extra lineman. You can see under Sanchez, they have had a long drought. They break it right here. Second down and 2 from the 39. Green looking for a block from Curley. There wasn't a whole lot there. They pile on, and you can see a stop by Austin Lane. Gain of 3 to the 36.
Mark Sanchez needs the running game and the ability to convert on those plays and pick up a new set of down. You can see 8 first downs for both offenses that have struggled. Mark Sanchez has to make plays. I think we've talked about the run game needs to pick up, but he's got to be able to complete passes when receivers are open.
First and 10. And again, and he spurts through, and he takes it right down to the 27-yard line. That's the kind of run they need right there. Gain of 9, tackled by Lowry, put him at the 27.
Yeah, they continue to swing that axe, Kevin. This is the 19th run play of the game for the New York Jets. You can see they're starting to find some leakage in this Jaguars defense. When they run the ball 30 or more times for Tony Sparano, they're 5-1 in those ball games. It's all about getting those rush attempts that Rex Ryan talked about.
Two tight ends in on second down and 1. Green again, carving his way for a first down. Alu makes the stop, and it's down to the 22-yard line of Jacksonville. Where is in your opinion, where are you gauging the confidence level of Mark Sanchez now?
I think it's about the same as when he started the game, which is the same as it was at the end of last week when that Arizona game concluded. Because he hasn't made plays in this game. In fact, the only play of significance was on the fumble. And so he's got to overcome that and start to exercise some positive plays.
McKnight is in, but they go outside to Curley on 1st and 10, who's grabbed by Harris, and he works his way to the 15-yard line with a gain of 6.
Well, so far, 6 plays on this drive. 4 of them have been runs, and of the 2 that have been passes, how about this? Mark Sanchez has completed both of them. So right now, you're getting a good mix, a good balance of run and pass, led primarily by giving the ball to Sean Green. Now here inside the red zone, got to be able to run it. This is where I think Tim Tebow can really help their football team.
Powers in, 2nd down and 4, breaking free and takes it inside the 5. And again, Harris is there with the stop. With a good run right there, Bilal Paul, 12-yard pickup.
Well, check it out. This left side, we talk about it. As you can see, there's Slauson coming down inside, getting some room to run, getting to the second level. Paul plus Lusney. Anytime the middle linebacker is in chase, it's a good thing for your offense.
On the drive, Schillens caught 1 for 10. Green runs a 6 and 8. Powell right there for 12. 1st and goal. And Green is shot. He didn't get in. It's a gain of 3 on that 1st and goal from the 4. So 2nd and goal coming up for the Jets.
Did he stumble and fall? Because it looked like he came through that trash pretty cleanly. I thought he was going in for a touchdown for one moment. There you see him right there. See, he trips and stumbles and falls. That ball looked like it pounced right on the goal line as he came down. And see, you can see he's close to wanting to take a look at it, is Rex Ryan. It looked like he was going in clean for a touchdown.
Jason Smith, an extra offensive lineman with a couple of tight ends. Green again, 2nd down and goal, and no signal yet. Touchdown. They got in.
It was like half his body is across the goal line.
Well, they had to uncover him. 1-yard touchdown run, Sean Green. And that is his 6th touchdown run, as you can see, of the season, but the first in the last 6 games.
Well, this is a good run. I think if you want to know why they went 57 yards in 9 plays, first they had great field position. Then the offensive line got it going. And how about Tony Sperano putting it on his offensive line? 7 run plays on that drive. They just pounded this Jaguars defense. Were able to put some points on the board. We said they needed to be productive, and boy, were they.
Green had 21 rushing yards on that drive. Jets have their first lead this afternoon, and here is the extra point by Nick Folk, making it 7-3 the Jets. Pass to Schillens for 10. Green had runs of 6 and 8. A 1-yard dive to put Sanchez and the Jets on top. 860 yards on the ground this season for Green. He had a good 1-yard dive right there and was instrumental on that drive, which gives the Jets their first lead of the afternoon.
Rex Ryan said that Sean Green's having his best season so far. He's approaching 1,000 yards for the 2nd straight year.
Jordan Todman is deep back for Nick Folk's kickoff. Faking the reverse. And then brought down by Ellis Langster. Henny is back out there. He's only gone 1 of his last 8. They've got it now, 9:05 in the 3rd. We're back in Jacksonville. Aerial coverage of today's game is provided by DirecTV. After the 1-yard touchdown run by Sean Green, 1st down and 10, Jacksonville at their 26-yard line. And Richard Murphy is in the backfield, and he gets the call. And stopped on the play by Harris. It is a gain of 4. He's at the 29.
Of course, Jacksonville Jaguars shorthanded on offense without the talents of Maurice Jones-Drew. You can see what they've done without him. This is the 7th game that he's been out so far this year. Remember, Kevin, he led the league in rushing last year on a last-ranked offense. Only the 2nd time it's happened in NFL history.
Two tight ends, 2nd down and 6. Murphy again. Good aggressive hit that time. Bart Scott, gain of 2, make it 3 up to the 32-yard line, and a Jaguar player is down. That is Mercedes Lewis, the tight end.
They're already without Maurice Jones-Drew. Today they're without Cecil Shorts, and they can ill afford to lose Mercedes Lewis.
There's the injured Jaguar player, a 2010 Pro Bowl player, Mercedes Lewis out of UCLA, and they've taken him out of the game. Potter has taken his place. 3rd down and 3. Jacksonville has missed their last 7 third downs. Kenny with the blitz from Bart Scott outside Shipley. The hit by Cromartie. A gain of 1, maybe 2. Out to the 34. Not enough for the first down. They got to punt the ball.
This is how you play aggressive defense. Come in the face of the quarterback, force the 3-step drop, hot read, then come tackle the hot route. And that's what you get from Antonio Cromartie. Effective defense on both the front and back end for the New York Jets.
Anger to punt. Hurley is back for the Jets. Now signals for the fair catch back at the 11-yard line. Elliott was covering. 55-yard punt. Another series of downs coming up for Sanchez. Mark Sanchez, 9 of 13 so far. He's fumbled once. No touchdown passes.
But he has led them on a touchdown drive. The first possession here in the second half. I thought it was a pivotal possession for him to jumpstart this offense.
Jason Smith is in as an extra lineman. Sean Green will take it up the middle and hit by C.J. Mosley on a gain of 4 to the 15.
Speaking of that drive, Mark Sanchez decided he wanted to come out and play, put some points on the board. What does he do? Give the ball to Sean Green. Give the ball to Powell. Green, 6 carries, 29 yards on a 9-play, 57-yard scoring drive. Of course, Green topped it off with a 1-yard run for a touchdown. You can see what they did in the previous 6 possessions. On that last one, they yielded 7 points after going 57 yards. Had great field position to start the drive.
Second down and 6. Green into a thicket of defenders. Stanford, all kinds of Jaguar defenders there, as you can see, on a gain of 3 to the 17.
Now, we talked to Mark Sanchez about playing in the New York market, about the criticism levied. And he says, you know what, I have to somehow try to block it out, which I find to be impossible. He said that everything is sort of blown up. He sort of joked about the fact that Colin Kaepernick might deserve some attention. He said no one talked about the fact that both he and Lindley played a horrible game last week. He kind of joked about it. He said, but all you heard is the game that I played. He understands what comes with the position of being the quarterback for the New York Jets.
In the backfield is Bell, 3rd and 3. Sanchez and out of bounds, looking for Schillens. The coverage by Cox, who has had 2 penalties thrown on him. No yellow on the field, a 3 and out for the Jets. They got a punt again.
Yeah, 3 and out. This ball sails over the top. Of course, not able to be caught. Look at this right there. I just thought Cox did a really good job of widening the receiver Schillens out of bounds. That could knock off your route if you're a wide receiver in the NFL.
Malone almost had that blocked, and a high snap from Perdum. And back to get the ball is Juan Cosby. Fair caught, 23-yard line, 59-yard punt. Watch it again. Coming right through. Mosley just about deflects it. Well, those numbers say a lot, don't they?
Yeah, it's a game that lacks fireworks. 10 punts so far this game. Both teams have combined for less than 200 yards of total offense.
No first downs, last 4 possessions for Jacksonville. 1st and 10 right here after the punt. Underneath incomplete for Mercedes Lewis, covered on the play by Jeremiah Bell. Well, no one knows the game like a quarterback. Break down all the NFL action on NFL Monday QB. That comes your way tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. 2nd down and 10.
Now, what do Jacksonville Jaguars have to do? I think you've got to try to find the best matchup. If you're Mercedes Lewis, you're 6'6", 200-plus pounds. You've got to win in those matchup advantages against safeties and linebackers.
Thanks for the extra defensive back on 2nd down. That is dropped right there. 2nd today by Elliott. Now 3rd down and 10. Coverage on the play by Wilson.
Elliott is struggling to catch the ball. We already showed you earlier he was wide open. Would have had a tremendous catch and run. While Henne is under pressure, he expects his wide receiver to make a play. If I'm going to take that shot, you've got to catch the ball.
Well, the coach said he has mental errors, and that's the reason why he hasn't played as much. But, of course, he's forced into action today because Cecil Shorts, their big playmakers, out.
And now today he's experiencing physical errors, not catching the ball.
Hey, tone up, go!
They're down in 10. Oh, up the middle they come, and down he goes. Wilkerson jumping on and devours him with the sack. It's back at the 15. And they got to punt the ball. A loss on the play of 8.
Total collapse of the pocket. And you see they run a stunt and a twist inside. And so that's where the pressure comes up the middle. But they were able to pin and clamp the pocket. There was no room to escape for Chad Henne. Did a really good job of just protecting the ball and eating it. Knows he has to punt that one, but don't turn it over.
Oh, look at that great graphic there talking about the defense. They've allowed 1 of 25 on third down conversions over the last 2 games. And Curley will be on the move right here for the Jets. And then brought down on the play by Jacksonville's Greg Jones, a former Giant. 14-yard return. An avalanche of defenders led by Muhammad Wilkerson. Come to Canton and join the more than 10 million fans that have made the pilgrimage to the birth of the NFL. For more, visit ProFootballHof.com. 1-yard touchdown run by Green in the second half. Jets on top 7-3, and they've got a short field with which to work after the Jacksonville punt.
Yeah, their best field position of the day. Here in the second half, though, the play selection has been very good. If you're Rex Ryan, he knows he has to run the football. They came out determined here in the second half. They've dialed up 9 run plays, only 3 pass plays so far for Sanchez in the second half there. Tony Sperano, the offensive coordinator, going to rely on the running game and good defense.
Left guard for this series is Dukas. 1st and 10 from the Jacksonville 47. Fake to Green. And caught by Ruland. He was brought down on the play by Puzlesny. It is a gain of 5 to the 42.
Your Jets believe they still got a shot, Kevin. They're at 5-7. They're one of 3 teams in the AFC East posting a 5-7 record. We take a look at that playoff picture. But boy, you got a lot of help is going to be needed in order for them to catch up to the likes of Cincinnati and Pittsburgh.
Yep, Indy and Pittsburgh both losing right now. 2nd down and 5. Hilliard, the fullback. Green. Right away from Allen. Oh, he finds a seam and takes it down to the 28-yard line. Tripped up on the play by Mincy and others. It is a burst of 15, a first down for the Jets.
Well, you got to ride the bell cow. Watch how he winds it back. He's able to elude a defender in the backfield, and look at the offensive lineman getting out in front. Well, they're starting to get it rolling. Anytime you can get blocking from your wide receivers on the perimeter, that's when you get the longer runs. Chaz Schilling working Derek Cox to create more room to run for Sean Green.
Powell was in. Puzlesny made that last tackle. 1st and 10. Moore pulling. Jason Swift was in there as an extra lineman, all leading the way for Powell, who tries to find some room on the edge. Only picks up 2 on the play to the 26 and knocked out of bounds by Cox.
So of the 3 plays so far on this possession, you see 2 of them are still run plays. 2nd and 8, it's one of those opportunities where maybe you take a shot. Remember, for as much as we talk about Mark Sanchez and not completing a high percentage of passes, remember, he's without Santonio Holmes. He's without Dustin Keller. He's without some great weapons that have really succeeded and played a role in winning a lot of games for the New York Jets.
2nd down 8, blocked by Ferguson, blocked on the play by Curley. How would you assess the skill players for the Jets? Because league-wide, it is not looked upon favorably.
Clearly, it's a C at best. And let's face it, they're not without, we already talked about it, without some of their best playmakers. They've had some injuries. Sean Green's turning in a good year for them, but they don't have that explosive runner, that dynamic guy that can take it 80 yards to the house. He's the bell cow that'll sort of wear you down over time, but sometimes you need speed, quickness, and athleticism on the offense, something that I think this offense lacks.
Into the nickel, 3rd and 8. Bell on the backfield. Incomplete. Cumberland was in his vicinity Mincy comes up the middle for Jacksonville. There's a lot of pressure there on Sanchez.
Now take a look at the wide receivers. Go ahead and roll it. Now you tell me, is there anyone getting separation against man-to-man coverage? This is all man-to-man. No one can get open here, even at the bottom of your screen. So that's why Mark Sanchez struggles. That's why he couldn't get rid of the ball, and they're forced to settle for a field goal.
Nick Folk will try one from 44. He's missed 2 of his last 3, and he puts that up, and he puts that through. A 44-yard field goal to extend the Jets' lead. Folk has had a rough go right here. And the big play on that last drive was a run of 15 yards by Green to set up the 44-yarder by Nick Folk. Well, tonight on CBS, don't miss a heart-stopping final challenge on The Amazing Race. The season finale. It's tonight, and it's only on CBS. So Solomon, the Jets have scored 10 unanswered here in the third.
I was going to ask you, have you ever screamed like that?
Every Sunday.
You can see Jacksonville limited to only 9 yards here in the third quarter. Jets defense has turned it up as much as the offense has gotten it going. They've had 2 scoring drives for the New York Jets. 1 touchdown settled for the Nick Folk field goal. But on both occasions when the Jets have gone down and scored, Kevin, they've started with excellent field position.
He had missed 3 of the last 4. He had missed 2 straight, had Folk, but he nails that 44-yarder right there and extends the New York Jets lead. You know what is interesting, Solomon, is we've had the last 2 Super Bowl champions that have been about 500 as they've gone in the month of December. We've seen teams with so-so records find something magical in December and make a move. And the Jets, certainly with the percentages very long, trying to grab onto some magic here in the final month.
And it all starts, as you well know, with the play of your quarterback. If the quarterback doesn't get hot, the team usually doesn't get hot.
Take the end around. Jordan Hotman is up there. McIntyre, along with a couple others, made the stop. A 26-yard return. A flag has been thrown on the play on the return.
During the return, holding for 88 on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
His thing was cutting out. I didn't catch a number, folks, but they'll mark it against the Jaguars. And the player is down, and that player for them is Jordan Tobin. He returned the kickoff moments ago. They just got him off the Vikings practice squad, and he hasn't played in the NFL until today. He was inactive last week against Buffalo. So the remaining schedule for Rex Ryan, it is workable, certainly, when you see those records.
How about that? And San Diego is at home. You go on the road at Tennessee, then inside of the division against Buffalo. Winnable games. Starts with winning this one. We couldn't even get them to talk about the remaining schedule. No one would even talk about it because they know they have to take care of business, but they're going to try to win them all and see what happens from there.
Owens in the backfield, first down and 10. Back by Lewis. First tackle there by Thomas, and then a nice stick by LaRon Landry and a loss of a yard back to the 10-yard line.
Well, this Jacksonville Jaguar offense, talk about need to get it going. Owens did a really good job of running the ball early in the first half. There's been no room to run here in the second half. Jets defense, good tackling by LaRon Landry. I like, the more I watch the Jets defense, I think they've got something special here. You watch them on tape, they're making plays. They played lights out last week against Arizona, and I think so far here today they're playing very well.
Second down and 11. Owens a block and buying time for his quarterback, and wide and uncatchable for the tight end, Zach Potter. Third and 11.
You know, we talked about this Jets defense hit, hurrying and harassing Henne, but when they have had receivers open, Elliott's put it on the ground, Blackman's put it on the ground, Elliott again, can't catch it even with a net. Struggling to haul it in when Henne is making plays. This receivers just let him down today. At other moments, the Jets have just made his life downright miserable.
Third and 11. Extra defensive back is newly signed Antonio Allen. He is a 7th-round pick. They come at him again, and he gets away, and down he goes on the move back at the 7. Hit on the play by Harris. Nice pressure. Copels was right there, the number 1 pick out of North Carolina.
Yeah. See, look at them. You've got a lot of people coming up. Look how they just sort of spread out, thin themselves out to get pressure in the face of Henne. His athleticism and strength keeps him upright here. You thought he would go down there. There's Wilkinson. He's missed 2 of those today. Kevin maybe would have had himself a safety, certainly a sack on the play, as Henne is able to elude most of those defenders.
Anger to punt. Harris picks up his 3rd sack of the season on the loss of 2. And this is Jeremy Curley, who's trying to find some daylight. Nothing there. And taken out of bounds by Stanford. 7-yard return on a 45-yard punt. Well, Saturday it's an in-state battle as Cody Zeller and the top-ranked Indiana Hoosiers face the Butler Bulldogs. Right here on CBS, 2 Eastern, 1 Central. And for a second consecutive possession here in Jacksonville, the New York Jets, who come in 5-7, having won 2 of their last 3, will begin in Jaguar territory.
Yeah, good field position. This is the ones when Mark Sanchez have been able to turn them into points. Both occasions when they've had good field position, they've been able to score on both of those possessions.
Powell in the backfield, Slauson back at that left guard, 1st down and 10. Is brought there by Howard and others, and he works his way into the grasp of the defense, and it is a gain of 7 to the 39-yard line. Babin was there to get him.
Well, they're not shy about running the football today. We've already said that when they run it 30 or more times, in those 6 games where they've had 30 or more rushing attempts, they're 5-1 for Rex Ryan. And he even made us aware of it that Sean Green, when he tops 100 yards rushing, they're 6-0. And you can see they're approaching that 30 rushing attempts in today's game.
2nd down and 3. And running outside and running hard is Powell, trying to put on the brakes, and Harris met him. Gain of 7. And they get the 1st down to the 32.
29th rushing attempt right now on the Jets. It's not pretty, but very effective. They're chopping and swinging the axe at this defense by continuing to pound the run game here in the 2nd half. You can hear the pads. Yeah, they're popping. They're popping.
Well, Powell taking that from nearby Lakeland, Florida. 3rd quarter has come to a close. 10 unanswered by the Jets here in the 3rd. We return to Jacksonville after this. You're watching the NFL on CBS, the home to Super Bowl 47. Well, we begin the 4th quarter with the New York Jets at the 32-yard line at Jacksonville, and they do have a 1st and 10. James Powell finds room and then brought down by Lane from behind. 1st down burst, 14 yards, and they'll put the ball at the 18-yard line of Jacksonville.
It's their 30th rushing attempt so far in this game. Look, they wrap around here. Look at the seal there. And a nice little lane provided by the center, Nick Mangold. It's the 30th rushing attempt, 14-yard run. They continue to chop wood on this defense. That is the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're just having their way right now on the offensive line.
1st and 10. And Powell again, hit by Puzlesny with no gain on the play. They have more passing attempts, do the Jets, than rushing attempts this season. People think that Tony Sparano is a run-first type of coach. He'd like to be, but they've been in positions where they've had to throw more than run.
Absolutely. He wants to run it. He knows the mandate when he was hired this offseason by his head coach, Rex Ryan. That is to run the football, but you need a favorable scoreboard. You need that score to be close, and that's why we see here in the 2nd half, it's clear they came out with the intent to run the rock.
2nd down, 10, Powell. And he picks up 5. Knighton got a hand on him. Lowry along with Landry were there, and will put the ball at the 14-yard line.
And as this Jets football team moves closer to the end zone, if they score a touchdown here, they go up 17-3. And from talking to Rex Ryan last night, I think we get ourselves some Tim Tebow in this game. This is, of course, his hometown. He was talking to many of the fans here at the stadium. Many people have come to see him play. And Rex Ryan knows he can steal the home crowd if he inserts Tim Tebow into this football game.
2 tight ends, 3rd and 5. Powell takes it down to the 4-yard line. A burst of 10 after a 14-yard run. That gives the Jets first down and goal to go.
All right, Brandon Moore, Nick Mango, Matt Slauson right in the center, right up the gut. Look, Slauson turns him out. They bring over to Brickashaw Ferguson, pulling the left tackle. And then even the receivers, look at Gilliard. He's up front, blocking, trying to pave the way for the run game.
As Leslie made the stop, 72 yards on the ground for Green, 72 yards on the ground for Paul. First and goal for Sanchez. Good block by Hilliard. That is a touchdown for Powell. 4-yard run inside, his 4th touchdown in the last 3 games. Hilliard, the fullback, laid some wood inside.
Yeah. Well, 34 swings of the axe. That's 34 rushing attempts, and now the tree has fallen. Because there's no doubt that they have seized control of the ball game. The offensive line have inserted their will on this defense for the Jaguars, and the way they're running the ball on that possession, wow, you've got to be impressed.
Will try to tack on one more, making it 17-3. We're in the 4th quarter. Runs a 14 and 10 by Powell. And a 4-yard touchdown burst to put the Jets on top with 17 unanswered. In the first half for the Jets, 6 possessions, 4 punts, 2 fumbles. That is their second half resume.
Oh, they've scored on 3 of their 4 possessions here in the second half. A couple of touchdowns and a field goal, and only had to punt it once. So Rex Ryan at halftime, he and Tony Sperano, they give the marching orders to this football team. We're going to come out and pound the run game, and boy, have they.
Nick Folk with the kickoff. Jordan Todman will be back, and he'll take it out. And the initial hit by Langster. He was right on him. 17-yard return. Here comes the Jacksonville offense, and coming up on the Subway postgame show, JB, Dan, Shannon Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for the latest NFL scores, news, and highlights. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show from our CBS studios in New York.
And now here's the tough situation for Chad Henne. You're down by 14 points. You've got to come out and start throwing the football. They haven't shown they can protect them.
Here we go. Miami oil. Miami oil.
Henne with a first down and 10. Until Owens, blocked by Neeson. He's in the secondary, and he slips through the grass, but slowed down just enough by Ron Landry. Picks up a 16-yard gain. He's up to the 28, and that's the first down since the second quarter.
Nice looking run play. Block down here, then watch him just wrap it around, coming on the backside. Getting to that second level. They didn't close off that lane. Jaguars were able to split the Jets defense.
Here we go.
Owens on first and 10. And drilled that time by David Harris. A gain of 3 to New York and James Brown.
And alert Indy D. And Jake Locker out of his own end zone. He takes a 3-step drop, and Cassius Vaughn jumps all over it for a touchdown return of 3 yards. It's 21-20 Indy.
Well, Indy getting it done both offensively and defensively. Back to Kevin and solid.
Fourth time that the Titans quarterbacks have thrown that kind of a pick where they're taking it back. And Cassius Vaughn, an ex-Denver Broncos, 2nd down and 7. Henne complete. Shipley was there. Wilson was covering. It'll be 3rd and 7.
What did Henne tell us when we met with him, that this was going to be a slot receiver, tight end type game? He thought Jordan Shipley would be able to get open from the slot wide receiver position. Thought that Mercedes Lewis, his big tight end at 6'6", wins some of the advantages in matchups against linebackers and, of course, safeties. Both of them have struggled to produce today.
Running back is Murphy. 5 in the secondary for the Jets. 6 in the secondary for the Jets. 3rd and 7. Henny, and he's got his receiver, and that's the kid who's dropped a couple today, Elliott. The coverage on the play by Langster, pickup of 9, and that is a first down.
It's only the second time they converted on 3rd down today, Kevin, where they have really struggled. Maybe because some of them were dropped, some of them were sacks, and some were maybe a bad throw by Henny, but this defense has played well on 3rd down for quite some time.
Now 7 defensive backs in there for the Jets. They play more 7 defensive back schemes than any other defense in the NFL. 1st and 10. Owen chased by Bell, and Jeremiah brings him down from behind. A flag is down at the 39. The gain is up to the 47, and this is going to be a hold on the Jaguars. All those defensive backs back there for Coach Rex Ryan.
Holding number 89, offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
All right, let's go to New York, and James once again for an update.
Steeler fans need more of this, Dan.
And Ben Roethlisberger trying to bring the Steelers back. He steps up in the pocket. 40-yard touchdown pass to Mike Wallace. San Diego up 27-10.
Late in the 3rd. All right, let's take it back to Kevin and Solly.
Well, the Chargers have blown 4 fourth-quarter leads this season. Anything can happen when they're on the field and today in Pittsburgh.
Anything can happen when Ben Roethlisberger is on the field in Pittsburgh.
1st and 20 with the penalty after the hold on the Jaguars, and it was caught by Blackman, puffed it away on the hit by Harris, and Eric Smith got it, and Meester got him, and the ball right now at the 41, and they rule it the Jets' ball. And let's see if, well, of course, they'll go back and look at it, and every turnover automatically reviewed. Let's see if Blackman was down after the catch. Got by Cromartie. Harris got him. He was down. It'll be Jacksonville's ball. Automatic review on a turnover from the receiver of the Jaguars to the Jets on a fumble.
Yeah, it's the catch and run. He spins out of the grasp of Antonio Cromartie. Once he hits what? You're going to see the knee go down before this ball comes out. See right there? See, he's down. So they're going to, was called and ruled a turnover down on the field, but there's clear visual evidence that the knee was down.
The ruling on the field will be reversed. The player's knee was down prior to the ball becoming loose. Therefore, Jacksonville will retain the ball at the 44-yard line, and it will down.
So it's a 13-yard completion to Blackman. Owens has run one for 16 on this drive. Elliott caught one for 9 on a drive that started back at the Jacksonville 14. Now 2nd down and 7 at the 44.
It looks like Jacksonville's got something cooking on this possession.
Five DBs now for the Jets. They're going to 6 and 7. Now they're down to 5.
And in the protection scheme, they count the men with their hand on the ground.
It's grabbed on the play, and it's Mercedes Lewis, and it was nailed by Landry. Gain of 4 at the 48.
All right, Landry hits like a missile. Take a look at Lewis. He comes right off, turns around, spots up, 6'6", can't get around him. It's like a power forward in the paint. All you can do is come and tackle him, but you're not going to prevent him from making the catch. Now 3rd and 3. You go back to Lewis with that matchup advantage against LaRon Landry.
Henny 3rd and 3. It blocked by Monroe. He'll take it himself. He needs the 49, and he's short. He was hit on the play by Popels and by Muhammad Wilkerson. And it's only a gain of a yard, but I think there was a shot to the head.
Wow.
Maybe a face mask. We'll have to see.
They're going to give him a new set of downs because someone went to the head of the quarterback.
Personal foul, face mask, number 96, defense. The 15-yard penalty
Wilkerson
will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
He was going down anyway, Kevin. Take a look here. Now, why'd you have to grab face mask? There it is, right there. Muhammad Wilkerson. Wow. It was two guys who actually went to the head of the quarterback.
That's only the first penalty on the New York Jets, so they have played a clean game in that regard. Wilkerson digs in again. Now from a 36 in New York, Jacksonville, 1st and 10.
Penalty keeps the drive alive for Jacksonville.
75, 75, 52. Hey!
Eagle.
75, 8.
6 defensive backs for the Jets. A good block by Monroe, and here goes Henne looking for Blackman, and incomplete with Cromartie and Bell there defending him at the 15, and Cromartie is down.
There's a collision between he and Bale. Thought this was a good play by Henne, though. He hung in there in the pocket. He sensed that protection was breaking down, and then found a way to get the ball over to Blackman on the double move against Cromartie. You see him working his way back to the ball, didn't make the catch, but you could see he was hit, was Cromartie, by Bell. Glancing blow, but those hurt nonetheless.
We talked to Antonio last night, and of all the things we talked about, he talked about defending Larry Fitzgerald. He said they graded each other after the game on the field, trying to get an update on each other. They have an injury timeout. Well, there are a series of tests they perform on that sideline, and for concussion awareness, and Antonio Cromartie going through the protocol of that on the sideline right now with the doctors of the Jets. 2nd down and 10. This drive started at the 14. It's the 9th play for Jacksonville. Five defensive backs for New York. Henne, Shipley. He's got the first down to the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards and a first down for Jacksonville.
Shipley's lined up to the right side of the field, matched up in a bunch package with Elliott. He came clean underneath. Knew where the sticks were to make that catch for a first down.
Number 25, 1st and 10. This looking drive started back at the 14. Owens had a run at 9. Reception of 13 by Blackman. Penalty, a personal foul on the Jets. Another 15 yards right there. But here they come again, an avalanche. And Quentin Coples is the one to jump all over the quarterback. 3rd sack today, authored by the New York Jets.
And it's Coples' 3rd sack of the season as we watch Antonio Cromartie leave the field. Coples comes right up the middle. Take a look at this. Wow. He won against the offensive lineman right away. Evan Britton filling in for Mike Guzman at the left guard position.
Here comes Owens, a block from Elliott. He finds room, and he's in for the touchdown. A 32-yard touchdown run by Owens.
On that left side, going back over where Britton had allowed the sack. Left guard and Eugene Monroe. Take a look at it right here. This is really good blocking. There's Britton throwing a block, and then Eugene Monroe. Once you break contain of the play, you're going to walk into the end zone. First touchdown allowed in the last 25 drives for the opponent.
32-yard touchdown run by Montel Owens. 3rd of his career. One more point on there, 17-10, and plenty of time left, 7:06. Walking ahead, they began at the 14, and they cap it with a 32-yard touchdown run. Well, that personal foul on the Jets defense on Jacksonville's 3rd and 3 kept the drive alive, and Owens and Henne cash in with a 32-yard touchdown run.
Extended the drive, and you can tell the Jets defense were a little worn out. Cromartie leaves the field. We give up 86 yards on 11 plays.
Here is McKnight. He'll let that go over his head and out of bounds. Had migraines last night. Weren't sure if he was going to be ready today, but he is.
Yeah, here's Eugene Monroe, the left tackle. Evan Britton, he's the left guard, and then they get a block from Elliott, and then Montel Owens has a clear path to the end zone. Good blocking on the left side on the perimeter by Elliott, and look at Monroe getting to the 2nd level, and Britton takes his guy down, and from there, it's an easy run for Owens for a touchdown.
Green in the backfield, first down and 10. And plus Lesney there along with Julian Stanford. Stanford, by the way, went to Wagner in Staten Island. That's a gain of 3 by Green as you take a look at Paul Lesney.
Now we have ourselves a ball game, Kevin. Because the Jacksonville Jaguars refused to die. Down by 7 after the Owens run. See if Mike Mularkey's defense can now make a play.
Second down and 7 from behind. They bring him down. That is Austin Lane. And no gain on the play. Lane with the stop. He's had a foot injury that has limited him. But he comes up big there.
Well, Lane comes down from the backside to chase that play. That was an excellent play by 92. Watch him come all the way around here. See how he comes flat? Gets down the line to get to the feet of Sean Green. Now 3rd and 7. Jaguars get a stop. Or get the ball back with good field position. See if Sanchez can make a play.
5 defensive backs, 3rd down and 7. Powell in the backfield. Caught by Curley. Drilled on the play by Lowry. Gain of 2. They had to get to the 30. They get to the 25. They got a punt. 3 and out for the Jets.
It's a long throw for a very minimal and short gain. You didn't even get the receiver to the sticks. Look at that. Not even close to the first down marker as Lowry lays a lick on Curley.
Well, Robert Malone had great pressure last time. Almost blocked by Mosley coming up the middle. Winkowski back inside the 30. Let's see right here what happens. Almost blocked again. Murphy, the running back, just about had it. Cosby will take it from the 27-yard line. And to the sideline he goes. Powell, the running back, belts him out of bounds. 8-yard return, 47-yard punt, and that guy right there just about got it. Richard Murphy out of LSU.
Well, Murphy's close. The Jets have already had 2 block punts so far this year. That one, by a hair, did Murphy miss it. Oh, Mike Westhoff is the coordinator of these special teams for the Jets. Just not used to seeing that from his group.
The punter, by the way, Robert Malone, spent the offseason in 2010 with this Jacksonville team until he was let go. So here come the Jaguars. 3 timeouts, 5:05 to play, and down by 7. Cromartie not out there. Down in 10. Holmes is driving for 3. And he's out to about the 41-yard line. The other corner now is Darren Wall, second-year player out there, number 27 for the Jets. And so they're having to dig deep in the secondary as Rex Ryan to find guys.
They told us Cromartie was going to be matched up against Blackman. Now let's see if with the mismatch and throw out, see if they go to Blackman.
5 defensive backs here. Here's Owens once again, hit by Landry. It was a 2nd and 7. He picks up 1. He'll be at the 42.
I like this Ron Landry. He's like an extra linebacker up there in and around the line of scrimmage. No, not as good deep down the field playing in space, but you get him in the box. He's as good as any safety in the National Football League. Spent his first 5 seasons with the Washington Redskins. Had some injury problems during the offseason. Signs here with the Jets. He's an impact player when it comes to stopping the run.
7 in the secondary, 3rd down and 6 for Chad Henne. The blitz was on. The ball is dropped for a 3rd time by Elliott, and he may have had enough distance right there for the first. The coverage on the play by Wall.
Now you're going to say this ball's thrown behind Elliott, but this is where he had to throw. He throws it inside. That ball is getting intercepted. And yes, Elliott, you have to catch the ball. Good positioning on the play by Darren Walls. Because had that ball been thrown inside, I think Walls would have intercepted it. And he put it the only place where he could. And he put it in a good place for Elliott to make the catch.
Boy, the Jets were bringing the pressure.
They were bringing the pressure without Cromartie. Still coverage very good on the back end.
Anger puts up a rocket. Curley, fair caught about the 11, 10-yard line on the play. 47-yard well-placed punt for the rookie. Under 4 to play, and Wednesday in primetime, JB, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms showcase America's favorite game with their own unique style. It's Inside the NFL. comes your way Wednesday on Showtime. Jacksonville, Florida, in the holiday season, all dressed up. First down and 10 for the Jets from their 11-yard line. All 3 timeouts remaining for each team. Green in the backfield. Hilliard, the lead block. Jason Smith, an extra lineman, was in, and all they can get right there is a yard before Alu makes the stop. Getting off the bottom of the pile, too, was Stanford.
Mike Mularkey's defense has recovered a little bit, starting to play a little bit better against the run, as you saw in the previous possession, forcing the Jets to have to punt the ball. Might you go play action, allow Mark Sanchez to take a shot? And if you're Mark Sanchez, you know your defense is playing well. You're only up by 7. You can't turn the ball over, Kevin, trying to take that shot.
Smith, the extra lineman, remains. Green in the backfield, second down and 9. Ruin is trying to lead the way. Green goes inside. Alu was there, and also a big hit from the linebacker, Russell Allen. It's a gain of a yard. Timeout taken. Ball up to the 12.
And they're dialed in on this run game. Mularkey telling Mel Tucker, his defensive coordinator, hey, let's sell out. Let's go shut down the run. They don't seem to trust their quarterback in this situation.
Well, coming up, the Subway postgame show. Join JB, Dan, Shannon Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowell for the latest NFL news, scores, and highlights. All coming up on the Subway postgame show right after this one here in Jacksonville, Florida. We've seen a touchdown run of 4 yards by Powell. A 1-yard touchdown run by Green. Sanchez today, 11 of 18, 74 yards. He has fumbled, but no picks. Relatively safe offensive scheme today.
Let's see if they go down the field on this third down.
Yeah, let's see.
The previous one, they just threw it over in the flat and determined to punt.
3rd and 8. You're right, going deep. Oh, and he's got Cumberland on the move, and a first down to midfield. Brought down on the play by Landry. A big-time throw for Sanchez. Boy, did they need that 37-yard pickup and a first down for New York.
That takes a load of pressure off Sanchez. And watch, here's the tight end Cumberland. Getting right down the middle, running down the seam. And Sanchez has protection. Got to make this throw. This is a stick money throw to Cumberland and a backbreaker for these Jacksonville Jaguars. If you're Mark Sanchez, a load of pressure just came off of you on that play. He needed to convert that third down.
Cumberland was a wide receiver at Illinois. He caught the pass last week. He's up with a huge play, and you talked about that before the snap. Here is a 1st and 10 from midfield, and they try to dig out some yards with Powell. Plus Lesney around his knees. It's a gain of 6 to the 44, and we're at the 2-minute warning. Big play by Sanchez, finding his tight end for 37. Sanchez has thrown 2 passes in this 4th quarter, and he has completed them both, but none bigger than the 37-yarder to Cumberland. His tight end taking the place of the injured Dustin Keller this afternoon. 2nd down, 4. Powell in the backfield. Oh, and they get him behind the line. That's Russell Allen dropping him down about the 48-yard line. He got through. He throws him for a 4-yard loss, and there's a Jacksonville quick timeout.
I like this Russell Allen now. Look at him shoot the gap. Watch him here. See, he sniffs it out. That's just good, slow playing at the linebacker position, reading the steps of the running back. And you can mirror his steps. You find yourself making tackles in the backfield. Remember, Darryl Smith, their all-everything linebacker out for the entire season. And guys like Allen come in, make some plays. They're missing Darryl Smith, who's a good pass rusher. He's good against the run, excellent in coverage. These Jacksonville Jaguars playing without a lot of their top-line players. The backups, they're finding out about these guys. But what did Mularkey tell us? He said, we evaluate every single day, from the first day of training camp to the last day of the season, not just for these final 4 games. They're evaluating everyone and everything.
You're always being evaluated. 3 tight ends, top of your screen, 3rd and 8. Not a lot there. Powell falling on him as Mincy. It is a gain of a yard. And the clock at 1:52. And the final timeout is taken by Mike Mularkey. who is a NFL tight end with a variety of teams, Pittsburgh and Minnesota. No timeouts now remaining for the Jaguars and their quarterback, Chad Henne.
Well, it's one of those things where you have the veteran quarterback. 4 career game-winning or tying drives. The most recent came in 2010 on the road at Green Bay. So he's done it before, and maybe possibly he could do it again. Remember, Antonio Cromartie was taken in, so their best cover guy, he's not in the game. They've already been playing without Darrelle Revis.
That, by the way, was Green Bay's Super Bowl season. Here is the Malone punt. Crosby will let it bounce, and it will ricochet into the end zone. So the touchback to the 20, 48-yard punt. No timeouts for Jacksonville, 1:43 to play. And the veteran Henne will come out there down by 7.
Now with 0 timeouts, but still 1:43, they can go anywhere across the field. Of course, they need a touchdown, but if you're the Jets, you have to anticipate they're going to take some shots down the field. And typically teams want to try to get the ball in the seams. You're going to play some zone. They want to get it down the middle, try to get a big strike early. So you have to be mindful of the possibility of those plays.
Defensive backs for the Jets. It is a 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for Henne and Jacksonville, and again, no timeouts. Henne. And he was brought down by Jeremiah Bell. He's got the 1st down. They're going to put the ball at the 34. It's a 14-yard pickup.
They're working the middle of the field, and we have Cromartie back in the ball game. How about that? He slipped out of the locker room, back on to the field. He's lined up in the slot against Blackman.
1st down and 10. Blitz is on. Drilled is the quarterback. They put pressure right on him, and coming up the middle was Harris.
Wow.
2nd down and 10.
Harris made him feel it. Watch him run right through the quarterback. He did the right thing, though. Talk about a target line on the quarterback. You know you can't go low, and nor can you go to the head. So Harris did the right thing. Went right for the chest area. Good target when it comes to hitting the quarterback in the pocket.
A couple of college teammates in Michigan, as we mentioned before. 2nd down and 10.
Hey, 52 now. 52's the mic? Yeah. Hey, then you got to go 33. We go right here, Oops.
Still the 7 DBs, and that's what is analyzed right now by Chad Henne. Looking deep, deflected and incomplete. Did Cromartie get a hand on that? I think he did. Nice play by Antonio Cromartie.
Boy, they need him. They need him. He has been, I told you, phenomenal. Look at the coverage right. See how he undercuts the route? Great anticipation from Cromartie. Oh, he's taking the rookie to school, Justin Blackman, because we've seen him do this several times. Anticipating the route, undercutting the route, getting himself into the intercept lane, able to get a hand on it, knock the ball away.
You asked him last night without Revis, has he noticed anything more coming to his side? More responsibility?
It certainly is coming, and he's accepted the challenge. He's taking on the #1 receiver every single week of the opponent.
Jets just took a timeout.
Timeout New York. This is their first. This will be a 30-second timeout.
But there is a lot of look at this defense without Revis and what they've had to do and how Rex Ryan has navigated the season. Boy, a lot of turbulence this year with him and that Jets franchise.
Well, they're holding on for dear life. Now, what if the Jets won their final 4 games, finished at 9-7? Whether they get into the playoffs or not, I think you feel good if you look back on it, seeing how much they lost during the season. You're playing without a Darrelle Revis. You're playing without Santonio Holmes. Dustin Keller, a crucial weapon for Sanchez, has been out. I think the development of their quarterback has everyone on high alert in New York as it pertains to the Jets. I think Sanchez has to make that next step for everyone to feel good about them writing that $8.25 million check this offseason.
After the Jets timeout, 3rd down and 10. Smith was on the blitz. He was picked up. They go outside, and that looks to be caught. Flag is down, grabbed by Elliott. Langster in the vicinity. The ball right now at the 50. 16-yard pickup as it stands.
Really good play. Going to talk about it.
Number 87 of the offensive team stepped up and was the first to come back in and touch a pass. Therefore, illegal touching.
That kid's had a tough day. He's dropped some balls, and he went out of bounds and came back in.
Yeah, he's got to be alert. Stay away from that out of bounds marker. You go out, you cannot come back in and be the first one to touch the ball. Now, had this ball been tipped at the line of scrimmage, see, there's Elliott right there at the top of the screen. See, right there, he drips out. They're saying that he drifted out. It was very close.
3rd and 15, and they blow that play dead.
Prior to the snap, replay booth called for review. The previous play will be reviewed.
That's a good point. We're within 2 minutes, so they can look at it themselves without it being challenged. And we even showed you there, it doesn't look or appeared as though he had stepped out of bounds. At least it's not so clear here. Maybe his heel's on the line there, but obviously we can't see. And then he's back in there. So I think they're doing the right thing. They want to make sure they get it right, Kevin. Go and take a look at it, because it's not so clear, at least from this angle, if he were out of bounds or if he was in bounds for a legal catch. Call on the field is that he had stepped out and then came back in, made the catch, which would render that catch illegal.
They'll get it right. Jets come in 5 and 7. Jacksonville, decimated by injuries to most of their playmakers, come in at 2 and 10. And as Mike Mularkey was saying, he said, we've just been limited so much in what we can do when you lose guys like Drew, and we're on our 4th running back, and our top wide receiver is gone, and we're not deep at wide receiver to begin with. You know, it really kind of handcuffs you in terms of how much you can expand your offense and use your quarterbacks. And Henning is the 2nd quarterback on this team.
He said they're nowhere near what they would like to be able to do on offense. You take a look at what Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons are doing. Remember, it's that same offense that Mike Mularkey has brought here to Jacksonville. While they don't have the personnel, they would like to be able to motion and shift and sort of disguise their intent in terms of the plays they would like to run. Still no clear evidence there to overturn the call.
Left foot here, right there. See, it is out of bounds. You can see it on the chalk. The left foot right there, unless it was still coming down.
That's where they're going with.
Yep. On the chalk.
That's like the grassy knoll. We said clear visual evidence. We'll see what they go with.
Well, it's important because if they rule it a reception, it'll be 1st and 10 at the 50, or otherwise it'll be 3rd and 15 at their own 29. There's obviously a very big difference.
Absolutely.
So it's a pretty important call with 1:06 to play, plenty of time. But it looked like his left foot, and I can't tell if it was coming down or if it was already down. I think it was on the chalk.
From what we could tell, it was on the chalk. So that means the call was right on the field. It is an illegal catch. You can't go out of bounds and then come back in. Even though you reestablish yourself, you can't be the first one to catch the ball. It's ruled an illegal catch. Had that ball been tipped at the line of scrimmage or by another person on the field, then you can make that catch after you establish yourself.
Right there.
See that right there. And you're sure, right?
Well, it looks like it, but a pretty important call nonetheless by Alberto Riveron. I think the cut was made right there. That's where he planted. Like we said, either 1st and 10 at the 50 or 3rd and 15 at the 29.
The ruling on the field stands. It will be 3rd down.
3rd and 15.
Elliott is really struggling today. We talk about drifting at the top of your routes. You just saw an example of it there. Route discipline, staying in the field of play.
Then the 7 defensive backs, 3rd and 15 for Chad Henning.
Taking a shot.
And he's going deep, and he's looking for his receiver, and that is incomplete. And there was all kinds of coverage on the play, aiming for Tony Clemens, who resigned just after Thanksgiving. And they had all kinds of deep guys back there, including LaRon Landry and others for the New York Jets.
Clemens got behind the defense.
Yeah.
Mike Mularkey dialed one up, and boy, Henne, he let it sail.
Clemens was on the Pittsburgh practice squad. He was a Steelers 7th-round pick.
Now,
4th and 15.
Yeah, 4th and 15. What do you do here? I love when you run the flood routes and then run someone underneath, but you got to lift the coverage.
4th and 15, and he's got Shipley with a big-time catch at the 44-yard line of the Jets. That is a first down. Bell brings them down. No timeouts, Jacksonville. 27-yard pick. They're going to spike it here to make it 2nd down and 10.
How about this? They make it look easy on 4th and 15. And if you're a safety, you've got to see the seam route runner. He's your guy. When we talk, see him here, and you've got to be able to match up to this. Both safeties here. You've got to be able to match up to that and allow the corner to run down the sideline with the outside guy.
2nd down and 10 from the Jet 43. Timeout New York. That leaves them with 1. Shipley, you may recall, was the receiver for Colt McCoy at Texas. Began with Cincinnati. Played 1 game this season with Tampa Bay. And there's a look at Shipley.
Rex Ryan is livid. He understands the coverages as well as anyone.
I mean, you got 7 defensive backs back.
Yeah, it's 4th and 15. They're going to throw it. They're going to throw it down the field. They probably, as we said, throw it down the middle of the field. I think talked about Landry in space, deep down the field. We know he's a much better player in the box. Well, you've got to anticipate those throws much better. Now 2nd and 10. Mike Mularkey, remember, no timeouts, 44 seconds. You can take a shot even over the middle of the field, because if you catch it with no timeouts, you can spike it to stop the clock.
2nd down and 10.
Hey, Tone, we go.
Good block by Owen. Shipley again and out of bounds. Niftali at the 35-yard line. He had pace over there with the coverage. It's a gain of 8, and the clock is at 39 seconds as they work their way downfield.
Well, we talk about lifting the coverage and flooding the zone. See, you go 2, you lift the coverage, and then here, that's when you catch it underneath. But you run 2 receivers downfield. That's how you're able to get Shipley open over in the flat. Pace can't close fast enough.
Penny 3rd and 2. Monroe got the block. It's deflected, incomplete. Looked like David Harris, the linebacker, may have had that ball ricochet off his gloved hand, and now it is 4th down.
4th and 2. If you're the Jets, can you get off the field, or you allow them to convert this? And if you're Mularkey, here's the key. You've got to throw the ball. Do you run it here knowing that you don't have any further timeouts?
Yeah, they just took out McIntyre. They put in Muhammad Wilkerson on the line. 4th and 2.
Express. Ready to go.
And it was caught. Oh my goodness, it's Elliott. Got the ball right in front of Ellis Langster, and he gets out of bounds. He picks up the first. It is a 7-yard pickup to the 28-yard line.
Watch Langster break on this ball. He should have intercepted it, Kevin. Great position. It goes right through his hands. And Elliott catches this one for a change. Look at this one. Langster's got it. Now he doesn't. Wow. 2 4th down conversions on this drive for Jacksonville.
10th play of the drive. Henne. His receiver fell. That was Elliott. And it's incomplete. And again, Langster was in the Bell. You see them all right there, all surrounding him. And on this drive, they had a 14-yard pass completion to Blackman.
You can see there, Elliott, he slips and then trips up. Langster.
They got Shipley for 27 and 8, and Elliott moments ago for 7 on a big 4th down play. They took over at the 20-yard line. 1:43 to play. No timeouts. 2nd down and 10.
I'm going down the field. Challenge these safeties.
Well, the rush was on. He goes deep. He throws it up, and it's picked off. Langster comes up with it. That's curtains for Jacksonville, and a win for Rex Ryan and the New York Jets, who will win their 3rd game in the last 4. They go to 6 and 7, and they are still alive.
This is a gift. The wide receiver, look at this. He doesn't go out. They're expecting a 7 route. from the seam route runner, Justin Blackman. He quit on the play. Pressure, of course, didn't allow Henne to drive the ball the way he wanted.
Quentin Copels came up the middle, pressured the quarterback, the trademark for the Ryan defense, and they come up when the pressure was needed the most at a good time. And it's Sanchez doing knee in the victory formation. The big play for Sanchez today, at least late in the game, was the 37-yard pass late to Cumberland.
And you can
got
tell
him a first down.
Yeah, there was a smile on his face after he made that completion. A little bit of redemption for Mark Sanchez today.
Jets win it on the road. And James Brown, it's a 17-10 final here in North Florida.